All right, welcome back, and here we have our smallest gear pack ever. Here we go. The smallest gear pack we've ever gotten. I don't even know, this doesn't even look big enough to put the card in. Let's see here. Yeah, I guess the card could be bent up in there. Alright, well, let's see here. We had readiness, we had ignition. Let's see what we got this month, alright? Alright. I'm like, don't even know here. But, you know, it doesn't have to be big to be useful in an SHTF situation. So, let's see what we got here in our miniature gear pack. Yep, alright. So, Gear Pack 117, Problem Solver. Okay. Okay. Okay, alright, well. Okay, so, anyway. Alright, so, Gear Pack, right? There's 4 levels. You got your Basic, which runs you $24.99. Your Basic Plus, which will run you $44.99. Your Advanced, which runs you $89.99. And your Ultimate, which runs you $129.99. So, maybe with the Ultimate, this would have been a bigger box. I don't know. The Ultimate would have been a Gerber Affinity Custom Axle. But, any rate, we do have some pretty cool stuff in here, and some stuff that I have been wanting to get anyway, so, alright. First up, from Marshalls, I love these things, we have a survival tin. 20-piece survival tin. Alright, so this here, this is an MSRP for $22.99. Wow. Okay, that's good to know. So Marshalls puts these out for $22.99 because I might start making these myself and selling on the channel, but I wouldn't charge that much. Whew. Any rate, okay, made in Canada from domestic and imported ingredients. And there's a list of stuff in here, but we'll save that. Alright. I like those, though. That's kind of cool. Okay, but next up is something that I've been wanting for a while, and I think it is right here. Yeah, so this is something that I've seen this on other channels, and this is something that I've been wanting to get. It's one of these wrist strap with tungsten carbide bead and cuff key. Don't underestimate its size. So this is the get out version too, and I've been wanting to get one of these. I think that this is something that you should have. Not so much for the the key there. Yeah, there is a handcuff key here that you can use. Get out of handcuffs, but definitely for the carbide striker, right? And you're supposed to just be able to just put this on there, pop it, and it'll crack the window so you can escape. And it's a bracelet, so that's pretty cool. This is I like this sort of thing. This is something that I think is pretty useful. Let me shrink it down enough so that I can just put it on my hold on. Here we go. There. Yeah, gotta tighten up a little bit. But I've been wanting these. So remove femur wrist, loop the strap around your thumb and finger, get the tungsten bead against the window, pull back on the bead and release. Use on side or rear vehicle windows. Fully adjustable wrist strap, handcuff key included. Do not use handcuff key for illegal purposes, obviously. But if you were to get detained illegally, this would be a good thing to have. And the MSRP of this is actually listed on here as well. For the United States, it's $15.99. For Canada, or for $12.99. For Canada, it's $15.99. So that's pretty cool. I've been wanting one of these. I think this is something that, like, in all honesty, there's no reason not to have something like this. This is, I mean, it takes up no space, and you can always have this carbide striker on you in the event you need to use it. So just no reason not to have it on there. And then that brings our, oh yeah, and then we get another gear pack sticker since 2016. And so that'd be your basic box. So you would get the 20-piece survival kit and your Get Out version 2 plus a sticker, which is bonus. They don't charge you for that. So you pay $24.99. Shipping and handling, you're going to pay about $30, but the value is $35.98. And, I mean, if you're like me, you've bought in those survival tins before anyway. So, that right there, I can tell you right now, everything on here is something I would buy. So, I don't, I bought this one for, like, a lot more than that. So, anyway, moving on to our Basic Plus. From the Ontario Knife Company, we have the Ontario Knife Company Navigator, and this thing is tiny. Ontario Knife Company folding trailing point pocket knife. Let's see here. This MSRP's for $24.99. Seems a little bit pricey for this, but yeah, this very lightweight. It is a liner lock. I don't know how well I trust that liner in there. It's not the best, but this is, I mean, it's really simple. Plastic and a knife. It's really sharp. The Navigator. See what it says in made in Taiwan. That's all it tells me. It does say EDC, stainless. Folding trailing point pocket knife. Still, that, I mean, you know what? I kind of like this one. And this would be good to put into a kit like that little metal kit, that tin there. This is not, you definitely would not want this to be your primary, but for a backup, oh yeah. Shaving sharp. That's actually a nice little knife. I don't know, will I trust the lock, but you're not doing anything major serious with this. $25. I will definitely argue with you on the price. Okay, if you were to say $7.99, $8.99, even $9.99, then I would say yeah. It is very sharp, but without knowing what kind of steel it is, it might not hold its edge for very long. I just don't know. So $25 for this, I think, is definitely a joke. But I wouldn't. I'm not gonna say it's a bad knife. I don't know. I kind of like it, but not for $24. I would not pay $24.99 for that. But anyway, that brings the alleged MSRP of this to $60.97. This stuff I would buy. This I would never buy this knife. I wouldn't buy one like that. You know, like I said, who took off all the hair? Maybe for $5, but $10 max. And even then, it's kind of like, I don't know. All right, so anyway, so that would cost you $44.99, and allegedly you have a $60.90 in value. All right, moving on to our advanced box. Let's see what it says here. Oh, let's read this real fast, then we'll get on to our advanced box. Not every situation goes as planned. This box was built for adaptability, self-reliance, and solving problems in real time. From navigation and light to repair tools and dependable blades, every item serves a purpose. No filler, just gear that works. Now, I will give GearPack a lot of credit. I like what they're trying to do with this. This is still kind of like a random hodgepodge of stuff, but at least they're kind of giving you a semblance of a theme. So, last month's was real good. Readiness was meh, you know, it was good. You know. This one is, right. We're gonna see what this next item here. This is the high end item in the box. This is the Bare Bones Living Pendant Light, and the MSRP of this is $44.99. And an Edison pendant light. So let's see here. Let's get this open and see what we got, what we're working with here. This is the do not eat. All right, so all right. Let's see here. We got a little bit of stuff in here. Powered by USB. All right, 5.16 watt warm Edison style LED light bulbs, USB powered, stamped steel construction, 10-inch cord with high-low settings, low 35 lumens, high 100 lumens, carabiner included for hanging. For optimal performance, we do not recommend connecting any combination of 9 total Edison lights together on a single chain. So no more than 9. Any combination of 9. Huh. So you have 8, that's fine. USB portable charger. Connect to Bare Bones USB portable charger. Any other 2.4 amp USB power source for best results. IP times 4 water resistant rating. 1 year limited warranty. All right. All right. This might be kind of cool. That was just part of the box filling. Let me see here. All right, so this has somewhat of a charge here. All right, so let's give this a try here. I will be honest, so far, I do like this. All right. But again, this off here. I do not want to damage it, so let's use our new knife. And we'll go underneath the zip tie, and pretty smooth there. All right. All right, it does have one of those, so you can wrap up the cord. Okay, so you got your carabiner, and then you can actually hook up more than one. So you know what? I kind of like that. This is something that I think if you would get more, I don't know, about $50 each for them, but you know, maybe a couple of them might not be a bad idea. Let's see if there's enough charge in this to start with. All right. Yeah, my battery's not the best, but all right, let's try. All right, this supposedly has a good charge. 3 lights. So let's see here. All right, and we've got a carabiner here. We got a carabiner here, so we could actually just hook up our. Let's see here. There's high, there's low. You can hang that up in your tent. Or your hammock or whatever. That's not bad. I kind of like that. I kind of like that. I think that something like this, I think it says no more than 9. So I think if you were to get like, I don't know, maybe 4 of these. Maybe 4 of these, because as you can see, you have this. Oh, it's got to be more than 10 inches. I guess it's supposed to be 10 feet. So you have all this cord here, right? So you could plug this in way over there, string these up in you know, your Bivvac or whatever, hang these suckers up, right? You plug your next one into here. Not bad. That's actually a pretty cool item. I don't know if I would ever actually buy that, but having it, I like it. I can see that being a useful item, especially since it is USB. You know, and if you have like portable solar power banks, preferably better than this one. But if you do have your portable solar power banks and you're actually able to power something like that, that's a great way to light up your night. So, all right, $44.99. Whew. That is pretty pricey, but all right. And last up, we have something from Coghlan's. We have, okay, this right here, air stop repair glue. This is probably something I've never thought about getting, but if you have like inflatable mattresses, inflatable pillows or anything, this right here could bring your comfort back. Thoroughly clean and dry the damaged area. Completely deflate if an inflated article. When the damage is small, a pinhole or tear under 2 inches, apply a light coat of air stop 2 or 3 times. Allow 5 minutes to dry between each application. For heavy material, i.e. fabric backed vinyl or vinyl boat, apply up to 5 coats, allowing a 5-minute drying time between coats. When the damage is more extensive, cut a patch with rounded corners using any vinyl material. Generously coat the damaged area, spreading the air stop at least 3/8 of an inch from the torn edges. Apply the patch and apply air stop to all edges of the patch, making a seal between the patch and the item being repaired. Allow the article to dry at least 10 hours before. So you can use this if you can make patches too. So that's not bad. This would be good if you had like, you know, if you have something like that. If you get like, now let's say like you have this, right? And you pop a hole in it. You can repair it. And then if you get like some extra like vinyl material, you can make patches. So probably a good idea, I could see with doing that, is if you take that and then you add, cut up some vinyl material, you make your patches, so you have like, say different size patches already prepared. You could actually make a really good repair kit with this. You could use like a tin like this, and you could put, you know, the repair kit together. Huh. All right. Now that's at $6.95. So, and I think that's super reasonable. I might try to pick up some more of this. Maybe throw in some, you know, other type of material stuff with it, and actually make a repair kit to put in with my stuff. Not bad. Yeah, so that brings the total value of the box to $112.91. It would cost you $90. So about a $24 overall value. Not too bad. Me personally, this light is really cool. I've been wanting one of these since I've seen other people get them. And then this air stop here, really, this is really cool. You know, this is a really good item. If you have anything inflatable, this is going to be just, you need to pack that away. This knife, this knife is janky. It's very lightweight. It's super sharp, but extreme backup, you know. And then you got your kit, which we'll look through this kit by itself in a different video. I don't want to take up too much more time, but yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items. The light's really cool. I do like that bare bones light. That is pretty cool. It says 40. I might try to pick up 2 or 3 more of them, just so that I can, you know, use these, because these things are really pretty cool. This thing, I like this. I don't know how well, I mean, it feels pretty well built. So, of course, you got the built-in carabiner. So, and you have, this is, you know, you have, it comes with this too, so you can coil up your cords here, which I gotta do anyway. So this is not a horrible year for GearPack. Some unique stuff, some definitely useful stuff, and some stuff that I never would have really thought about getting, but then boom. Overall, I'm happy with this box as well. I think the ignition box was probably better. You know, if we look at our last 3 boxes, we had Readiness, which we had. The emergency candle is really cool. You know, you got the knife. You got paraframe. Yeah, you had like, you know. Oh yeah, that's the one with the fire steel. So Readiness was pretty cool. Ignition was a really good box. Again, I'm not really too impressed with that full pull start grill because it's a one-time use, but it's still a good item. And then now we got Problem Solver. So far, I like what GearPack is doing this year. It's almost kind of like GearPack and BattleBox were talking together because BattleBox is trying to do like, quarterly themes, and this is actually, for the size of the box, this was a pretty good box. I'm not gonna lie. I can see why, because this is really well built. I mean, it looks nice. So, all right, that is it. That's it for your GearPack. Pretty cool stuff this month. Useful and not. I don't think that anything was like, the knife was definitely overpriced a lot. Everything else is about comparable to what you'd find anywhere else. So, but all right, that is it. Until next time, keep prepping.